Good evening, everyone. You're welcome once more to Njenje Media TV. In a bid to deepen the conversation and have a better understanding of the candidates contesting for the Anambra 2021 gubernatorial elections in the state. Part of what you're going to watch this evening is part of the Meet the Candidate series sponsored by Njenje Media Group. Today, I'm having a one-on-one conversation with my guest, Senator Patrick Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah, who is a Nigerian businessman, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and currently the senator representing Anambra South Senatorial District in the Nigerian Senate. He is also the CEO, Capital Oil. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, you're welcome. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV.
My pleasure. Welcome. Thank you.
It has been a little bit fight to get you to, obviously in the last couple of minutes, we have been struggling to get you online, and thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well done. Sorry, I'm very sorry. I came in late because I had a delayed flight from Abuja to Lagos. And as you can see, I'm still on motion going to a function. I'm very sorry for this and then also the network, but I think we can go on.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much for being being my guest today. Now, I have had
it's a pleasure.
I have had the privilege to speak to other contestants who are also contesting for the post which you are contesting, being the governor of Anambra State. Now, the campaign has been going on for a couple of weeks now, and we have seen some of you have also moved the campaign outside the state. We will get to that later. But now, many people know you as a philanthropist. Some know you as the CEO of Capital Oil. Some do know you as their senator. In the Senate, many have seen how you have been very vocal, speaking on issues pertinent to the people. But again, if you have the privilege of meeting people who do not know who Ifeanyi Ubah is, how would you describe Ifeanyi Ubah to someone who does not know who Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah is?
Well, Ifeanyi Ubah is a very passionate personality, very deep in issues that concerns humanity. And I'm a very straightforward person, highly privileged, and by the grace of God, understanding the grace of God upon my life. And there is nothing like that. And then having also zeal to serve humanity. That is how I can describe Ifeanyi Ubah in a minute.
Okay. Now, if if I may say, you did contest for the election in 2017, if my memory serves me right, to be the
2013.
Sorry, 2013. Yes.
Yes.
When after that campaign, you gone underground to do a lot of homework, and now coming back in a different format. Saying that, what is it that propels you to wanting to become the chief executive of Anambra State?
Well, Njenje, I have been involved in trying to, see that our generation is not lost. I'm trying to see how I can support different governments in the Southeast region, understanding what our people went through after the war. And I have been involved in supporting different personalities to give good governance to our people, not just to my state, but to the entire Southeast region. But at the end of the day, you find that nothing is working. So I decided to really, it's not my wish to be in this race or to be running for governorship, because I know I know the grace of God upon my life. What really I am doing, where I'm doing very well. What I'm doing, that I have been doing very well in. But I want to contest the governorship, this governorship election, in order to show the way, in order to set a sample. We have been having declination of governance over the last 16 years. From a governor to his stooge, and then from the stooge to another stooge. And I don't think it's going to go that way. This is of course, this is the first of its kind in the entire history of Nigeria, where you see someone like me contesting bullishly, as someone that at least you cannot find me with any kind of um, government support or government patronage. I am doing it on my own because I sincerely believe that God gave me the strength to do it and gave me the wherewithal to do it, for the sake of humanity. So I'm sure so many people might misunderstand me as I'm saying this, but we need to give this a chance, because no one has ever done what I have done. It's not easy to get into the Senate from a relatively unknown party, and then at the same time, standing with that relatively unknown party, even when the big shots, the big parties are all knocking at the door for me to join them. So I want to create a new identity. And I want people to believe me that I want to create a new identity, to give me a chance. This is something I have done in all the states, almost on all the states of the Southeast, in my own state, supporting politicians. Now I want to do it. Not, I don't know, there is nothing that I'm going into the state government or going to the government house to enjoy that God has not given to me. But I want to go and make a mark and set example, just like I have done in the Senate, even though very short period of 2 years. But this is the opportunity that calls that, very, very important for my generation, for the unemployed, for the downtrodden. This is the time for me to come in foolishly and see how I can change the face of our generation.
Okay, thank you very much. You did mention about being in an obscure and unknown party. That's what you just said before now.
Yeah, relatively
If
unknown
you,
party.
yeah, if I take you on that, when you won your Senate seat, many people expected you. It was actually, there was a rumor that at some point you need to grant some interviews that you had decamped to APC. But here we are, 2 years going, getting into the third year. You have nothing, you haven't decamped. What is it that informed your consistency and staying in YPP and not decamping? I'm not a politician, but I like to ask questions. And the question that I'm putting to you is it there is something that you are getting in that party that makes you to stay and not join what many of your colleagues will define as mainstream?
Well, you see, vision in life differs. For me, I have a very strong faith in creating a platform that I think I can champion a new phase of whatever I believe in. Um, my faith in standing strong with this my party, resolve within the fact that I believe a journey of million miles starts with a step. I believe that I can also grow this party to even be more popular than other parties within a very short period of time. We have seen our our state party, which was ABGA, which is a party from our region, you know, being in only one state for over 16 years. And that, to me, does not really show growth. So I believe that we can change the face of our people using this party, and within a very short period of time, take over the entire Southeast region. And also, just like many of the parties that the ACN party, the CPC party, and then we can negotiate, because the Act of War say When you are weaker, they oppress you. If you are stronger, you oppress. If you are weaker, you retreat. But if you are equal, you negotiate. So yes, we are coming from a very, very uh, uh, low background. But I believe once you have the mandate of a state, we can champion a very accelerated uh, pursuit to claim other states in the southeast region, and from there we can take it to the national scene.
Okay, so you've given that. He talked about mainstreaming and caucusing. I like using that word, caucusing with others to get to where you need to go. But having said that, you now have to, we are aware that in the last election, you did support the current governor of Anambra State, that is Chief Willie Obiano, and that you were made some promises in that period of time. Now, I want to use the opportunity before we get into your manifesto, because obviously one would have considered that if you were in APCA, probably what you're trying to say or what you're saying about being a regional and expanding beyond one state would have been much easier. Now, what were the reasons and what were the things that happened, promises that were broken, that made you at that point no longer go with APCA as was insinuated after the last governorship election?
It wasn't my own making. It was APGA that disqualified me 2 days to the primary, and they disqualified me and then put me in a very hopeless situation. And I gathered strength and momentum to fight back, and then the grace found me winning the senatorial seat under my party now, YPP. So with that, I believe that I can champion the greater pursuit. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, so that we can be able to click up when we have a state and then prove a point. Our people are easily to be convinced if you have a genuine mission. I don't think it's very, very right for one to continue to work with a government that for 7 years could not provide one single employment to our people. And then you find people saying they want continuity of same government. So I think it's very, very wrong. Everyone is fighting for his own soul. I have a legacy to leave. I have a family. I have a name to protect. I don't think it's about wealth. I don't think it's about financial inducement. It's all about legacy for me. So I know what I'm doing, and by the grace of God, we're getting closer to that.
Okay, thank you very much. Then let's quickly move on to the meat of the matter this evening, which is your manifesto. Now, in looking at trying to review manifestos, which I've done with every other person, and I looked at it, your core areas you talked about: development, reforms, things to carry out, to engage, to create, to transform, to restore. Now, in looking at that, people normally say, what is your agenda? 2 point, 5 point, 10 point. And then if I put that question to you, what is the summary of your manifesto, that in 2 minutes you can tell the people of Anambra watching you all over the world now, in 2 minutes, this is the summary of your manifesto without them reading your manifesto?
Well, it's all about a revolutionistic narrative of empowerment, synergy with our people in diaspora, so that we can have a very transformative culture, embedment. And at the same time, we want to, create employment. We want to make our state a mini nation inside a nation. We want to, run a democratically set up, most especially by giving autonomy to our local governments, having a legitimate, free and fair local government election, and then we're able to, create economy in every local government of our state, and then put up a competitive governance that other states in Nigeria will emulate. This is my vision that Anambra State will be the industrial giant of Nigeria that will continue to feed Nigeria industrially, get our people into industrialization, and then at the same time change the attitude of our youths, by giving them a new orientation where they can be able to stay in dormitories, inculcated into the industries where they work, and then change, their attitudinal, behavioral change is very, very important because, due to loss of faith in governance, everybody, all the youths now are on their own, doing whatever they think whatever they think that works for them. So we really need government to come in and then change these narratives, take these youths to different places of the world, bring the kind of culture, change their, get them involved. Orientation is very, very important.
Yeah, but
Because
if I may wade in here, what is it? What are the concrete steps that you can take in creating these, quasi job or engagement that you talk with the youth? Because obviously, you see, the reason why many people have argued that the reason why you have many agitators is because the youth do not have job, because the youth are not seeing
the
future.
moment the moment I moved in now, 6 months we have local government election, we will hand over the road construction of all our rural roads to every local government, to the youths of Anambra State. We will give them the very best of tools and then training, and they will continue. I have, in everything I have in my manifesto, I have a bit of it, which I have achieved successfully as Ifeanyi Ubah. So I can tell you that I have one of the best roads network in the Anambra State through the interlocked system of roads. So, and these are things that was done by Anambrarians. So it's not a rocket science,
So what you're saying is that
So
part of your
so that
engagement will be
with that alone, we are taking 10,000 youths off the streets. We are taking 10,000, close to 10, 11,000 youths off the streets by giving this local government election, getting youths to handle the rural roads. Just that alone will take up over 10,000 youths off the street. Sincerity is very key in life. Proactiveness, and then understanding what to do and how to get to where and how to do it is very, very important in life. So I don't have any problem in doing things because I have done things like this. I have done things in many fold, engaging, employing, and at the same time succeeding in these areas. So for me, I don't have a problem telling you that, look, it's going to be done. We will conduct local government election in 6 months, hand over the rural roads to local government, allowing the youth to repair their own roads. So, and there will be a standard, a set standard, and that's it. That is just a tip of the
what you're
iceberg.
saying. So what you're saying that if you become the next governor of Anambra State, that
I will be by the grace of God.
Okay, so that you are going to ensure that the local government construct roads. So how are this road going to be done? With asphalt or with paving stones or
with paving stones? With paving stones.
The inner
We
roads.
Yeah, because I have
Do we
paving
have the
stones
funds
from
to do this?
from our So the paving stone structure has been tested. I have a history of 9 years in my own locality that I have used paving stones, and they are still going very well. Whereas you see the asphalt roads, after 2 or 3 years, they start decaying. So it's not working. So we will do things that will last. Go to China, go to Lagos, go to different parts of the world. That is what is in norm.
Okay.
So we don't need Lebanese people to come, white people to come and start, deceiving us, wearing jeans, putting hands in their pockets. I don't want that kind of thing anymore. I want to live. Let's live by our faith.
Okay. Now, if I look at the economy, or rather, let me just have one single question on the economy here and revenue to Anambra State. You may recall that recently, the governor of Rivers State, in the person of Yeson Wike, has studied a controversy, so to say, where he instituted a case for states to collect VAT.
For
Now,
VAT.
and in that publication of collection of VAT, our state of Anambra is, and the performance of the state of Anambra is very, very abysmal. Even Ebonyi State, that many consider an obscure state, generates the largest VAT in the southeast region. Now, if we come down to Anambra State, how do you intend to, in a practical way, increase the revenue generation? Because everybody's talking about restructuring. We all forget that the moment we restructure and the monies that come from the federal government ceases to, we have to now depend on internal generated revenue. Now, in order to get the Anambra citizens and the state ready for eventual when that is going to happen, how do you plan to increase the revenue base of Anambra State and its utilization?
Well, it's not a rocket science. We are going to go into area that has never been practiced before, because I'm a businessman and I know what our businessmen are lacking. That's why I said there's going to be a commercially inclined governance where we can now work with selective franchisees owner and then support their businesses. There's no enough, there's no, the room is so big, so large, you can, it's a daily need for businesses to be supported. So for me, we Anambrarians own close to 70% of Nigerian franchisees. So I intend to partner with businessmen, giving them government secured guarantees for their businesses, making sure that these businesses are relocated to Anambra or domesticated in Anambra State, and at the same time, partner with them pari passu, maybe 80-20, but definitely it's going to be better, and maybe 90% windfall for them compared to what they are giving to Nigerian banks. So we want to take a bit or a portion of this money that Nigerian banks are declaring every year, from our sons and daughters, and then we will convert it into our IGR. I am looking at tripling the IGR. And sometimes why I don't normally speak to the media is because I always wait for the debate day so that we can be able to expatiate my idea, my scope very well. Because when you start talking and things I say are not within the scope of what is happening or what has been happening the last 10 years. So you can imagine, I was the one that came up with the local government election. Everybody now is copying it. Say, I will conduct local government election. And you ask somebody, okay, if you conduct local government election, how can you back it up? What kind of autonomy? What is the business? How can you give them businesses? And
So
even how can you run?
Are you promising that if you become the governor of Anambra State, that the monies that are accrued to the local government, you will not have any hand, as it has been
My
so
brother, I am telling you that I want to make history. If I have mine, I will even give them mine. I don't think I need it. It's only when you starve yourself of money that you work hard to make money. It just understand me. You see, just Jesus Christ, many people discarded him, many people didn't trust him, many people said, oh, Joseph carpenter. But at the end of the day, he was the savior. For me, contentment is key. I am a senator, the only senator in Nigeria. Nobody has ever had, the Senate has never received, or nobody has ever been to Senate of Nigeria from a relatively unknown party like me. It's a history. It's also a history that I stood firm with my party. I caucused with the ruling party in bringing the Senate president. And I was also rewarded with a good slot in the committee as the vice chairman of Nigerian Upstream. So and that it ends at that point. It ends at that point. There's a lot of benefits. I wouldn't like to speak on phone through this medium. But at the end of the day, what is key to your question is this: Ifeanyi Ubah is totally different from politicians. My own scope, my intent. I am not saying that I'm going to do all this. I'm going to form a team, but because it's divine, because what I'm doing is what God wants me to do to change the face of this generation, I am not scared that it will not work.
Okay, now every one of you that have joined me here, I have asked and consistently asked this particular question. What would Ifeanyi Ubah do in Anambra State in 100 days if elected the governor of the state?
Well,
100 days enough.
Is it my you want my answer?
Yes, I want your genuine and honest answer to it. What is it? Because
in 100 days, there will be a reduction of insecurity in Anambra State. Every youth will have a new face. Everybody will be smiling. There's going to be an audit of everyone in the state. Everyone that lives in the state, there's going to be an audit.
How?
So that we can have a biometric audit.
And that will be done in 100 days?
Yes, sir. A biometric audit. And then it's going to be very serious, so that we'll be able to use technology to wipe away crime, because safety of lives and property comes first before any other thing. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so I mean, then this is a very serious thing, because everybody's going to hold you to that.
Njenje.
No,
I don't want to talk so much. Njenje, I don't want to talk so much.
No, you have to. You have to tell us, because
sometimes it doesn't. Yes, we are going for election. We are doing our best. And you see that the copycat are so much in this place. People who has no business, no serious investment in Anambra State, no love for Anambra State. So they always want to listen to me, and then also pick my ideas. And you can see what I'm saying is coming from my heart. It's divine, it's pure.
The election is about,
and it's not something. I don't know. I don't listen to anybody. I only seek for God's divine wisdom to guide me and help me to save my generation.
Okay, the election is fairly in about between 20 and 21 days away from today. So whatever you say, I don't think that somebody can actually copy that now and run with it before the election day. So, but it will be a good time because you're speaking to the global audience, local in Nigeria and globally.
I don't know really. I am so discomfort. I'm so uncomfortable. But this interview has to go, because I have a lot of respect for you and for the audience. But I really want, if they can pick, at least have this little that I've said, and you can give me a quick, even if it's early morning tomorrow, and I can maybe after service, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I can relax and speak to the audience. There is so much coming. And also, I am going to open my broadcast station in about 9 to 10 days time. So people will hear a lot from me. They will hear a lot from me. This is a journey of 1,000,000 miles. This is a journey that will change the face of Nigeria. But first and foremost, charity begins at home. We are changing the face of Southeast, the Anambra Southeast, and we go to Nigeria. Bet me, you are going to have a transformation of a 4-quarter, 30 days in every quarter, of continuous exhibition of international investors coming into Anambra State, having a government-backed tax regime, tax holidays and things like that, setting up industrial clusters for our youth, industrial clusters with dormitories, and our youth. You need to see how the youth of Anambra State will be in the next 3 years. They will be so disciplined in Anambra State. People, you can bet and say, this my son that is in this industry, this is the only time for me to call him. He won't use his phone after so minutes. And then you will have there's going to be a Chinese kind of, not that we are going to be a kind of Chinese hypnotizing or trying to make people live like Chinese, but discipline is key. And then it's good that everybody's enjoying, everybody's meeting his needs or meeting her needs, but also working in a disciplined regime.
I must ask you the next question, and that is very, very critical for those watching us. That question is, what is it that when you become the next governor of Anambra State, what will you do regarding the agitation and the call for a sovereign nation called Biafra?
First, I don't think I will be on the noise position. I'm going to do a consensus of our people all over the world, and I'll put it before United Nations. And I will seek, I will give them, there's a resolution that I will give them, which is a United Nations resolution. And I'll tell you that if I have what it takes, if I want to be a mini nation inside a nation, I have all it takes. I can set up my referendum. I don't need God Nigeria for a referendum. I can set up a referendum of our people. Let us even have a referendum that United Nations can approve. I don't need Nigeria, so I don't need all this noise about Nigeria. Honestly speaking, once we can be able to set up our industrial networks, bring in those who will help us to industrialize Anambra State, and we continue to feed Nigeria. We continue to feed Nigeria from Anambra State. We don't need to look at Nigeria. We are too big looking at Nigeria for help. We'll go outside the shores of this country. And then we meet, because the United Nations resolution says if we are 1,000 people speaking same language in 136 cities, we have over people in over 500 cities. So what are we talking about? We are talking serious business.
So
don't pull me to say so much. Please save me because I have what it takes to change the narrative without insulting anybody.
I think n'okwu ọnwa ịma na ọnwa eto ya esikwulu okwu, a sị na ọnwa eto ya esikọkọta aka n'obi agwa ndị mmụọ ebe ndị dị mmadụ. M ga-ajụ gị nke a n'Igbo dịka ihe, maka na ụfọdụ n'ime anyị na-ekwu ebe a nne na anyị ga-eche na ọsọsọ oyibo ka mụ na anyị na-asụ. Ka njụkọ gị nke a n'Igbo, maka na nke a bụ ihe vootu a na-atụ bụ ihe gbasara Anambra. So na anyị bụ na ndị Anambra niile anyị bụ ndị Igbo.
Ngụkwakwa sụọ n'oyibo n'ike oyibo gwu anya ịchọ ka anyị sụwazie. O nwere ọzọ ya asụba, o nwere ọzọ ya, o nwere nke anyị na-amụ, nke anyị sụrụ na vileji, nsọrụ gị akịta ịgba ọsọ.
O nwere nke mara anụ ọkwụ.
Mba, nke anyị ji wee bi village life. Iti na-atụ n'itife ntị na-atụsụ.
Atụmatụ n'etu na iti na-etukwuturu.
Ibidoro ebe ọrụ iti ha atụsụ n'itife ntị na-atụsụ.
Atụmatụ iti ha iti na-etukwuturu.
Village boy. Okay. Iti bụ ntị nwa otibotido, ịbụ nwa obodo.
Let's come back.
Village man.
Let's come back to this. Obviously we saw how late Dr. Chike Akunyolu was murdered in cold blood in Anambra State. Once more, may his soul rest in peace. It was one death too many, and many of us became worried. Obviously, as a result of that, many of you stopped large gathering of campaigns in the state.
Mm-hmm.
My two questions, it will be two in one question. The first one is, as a result of his death, now everyone is trying to engage, various stakeholders are engaging for peace to return to the Southeast and especially Anambra State. If you become the governor of the state, what is it that you will do? Again, this is on security, to ensure that everybody that needs to be spoken to, everyone that is angry that needs to be spoken to, will be spoken to. And what are those things you can do? And can you tell us the timeline? Secondly, we saw you campaigning in Lagos. The video is everywhere online. What actually happened in Alaba? So that will be the second question. But the first question will be, can you tell us what you will do in view of the so many deaths?
In 90 days, probably no, in 60 days, I just swam in every road, every 200 meters in Anambra State will be networked.
Come again. Sorry, repeat that. Sorry.
In 60 days, I just swam in every 200 meter in Anambra State will be networked with walkie-talkie.
Okay.
It's going to be like a KGB state. Information gathering and information dissemination is the key. And every community will have their own repeater, their own server, their own security system apparatus, which will be manned by the vigilantes and the youths, additional youths. There will be a very serious training on management of walkie-talkie. And then some of the wealthy ones can now join and support that program and key into, maybe you want to have your house secured, your gate man to use to be listening to the network, community network. You're in London there, no serious state will shy away from security. But sometimes I feel that just because it costs nothing. Imagine a 200 walkie-talkie can serve a state, a city, a local government. A 200 walkie-talkie is approximately, you know, maybe 10,000 US dollars.
Yeah, but sorry, Senator, you are talking about crime.
We're talking about crime now.
No. Here you are talking about crime fighting. Isn't the
key allow me, sir.
Okay.
Allow me, sir. This is the reason why I said you mentioned the killing of Chike and then what I will do. So I'm telling you that I will network the city so that communication, because what you see today, you see unknown gunmen moving around the street and nobody's talking to them, nobody's touching them, dancing in the street. Such a culture should not be allowed in our states. So if there's a network, but because people are totally different and away from our security operatives, they don't even know how to reach them. But if the police is also within the community security network, they will be listening. My brother, this is divine. This is divine. I don't want to push so much. That's number one. Number two, Alaba, there was nothing. It's just people trying to exaggerate. We went to Ladipo. We moved into the campaign trucks with the management of Ladipo. We were there for over 3 hours. We went to Trade Fair. We were there for over 3 hours. We went to Coca, Aldoade, Relay Mabula. We were there for over 5 hours. But it touches Ifeanyi Ubah because Ifeanyi Ubah is from the traders board. We went to Alaba, but Alaba wasn't for roadshow. It was for me to give the management of Alaba our invitation card for a function we are holding in same evening. Now Villa Park, Namu Wadofi. So I told my team, let us drive to Alaba. From Alaba, then we move to Amu Wadofi so that we can start setting the hall for the show. So, and then in that Alaba, we met with the management, Mr. Paulinus, Apostle Paulinus, the chairman, and members of his executive. After that, we came down, we met the youths, we walked to our car park. We entered the car. The youths asked me, we saw what you shared in Ladyball, we saw what you shared in, why can't you share? We said no, because the ones we have here, we want to use it for a function this evening. There is no time. It's okay. What of Nnamdi Kanu? What can you do about the detention of her? I said, I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much with the lawyers. I have gone twice to see Nnamdi Kanu in DSS. Probably the only person that have done that. And I met the DG of SSS. I met the director of operation, national director of operation of DSS.
So, sorry, you have attempted to see, or you've seen Nnamdi Kanu since
I've gone to DSS on my own to see him. I met with the DG. I booked an appointment. I met with the director general. He told me that his hands are tight, that I should go to the court. He directed me to go and see the director of. I went again. I went again to. He directed me to go and see Malami, or I should go to the court. I went again to the director of operations. So at the end of the day, I consulted the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu, and then I have just signed a motion for me to see him. So I explained to them. They said, "I pay for me." So they chanting, Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. And then we all chanted. We all chanted together. They were at the back of my vehicle. Nobody threw stone on my vehicle. Nobody threw pellet of waters.
Okay.
Nobody.
Okay.
They were escorting me out. So,
okay,
excuse me, social media issue. Maybe somebody might be in an upstairs, seeing them shouting, clapping for me, or hailing me, or shouting, singing Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. And then somebody will just use his own phone, talk to his phone, and then send a big shot, and people will change another narrative. What will you do? We are in an era of a very bad social media. So if such a thing happens, will you continue every day? You go to TV and say, no, it's not like this. No.
Okay, so
let them be talking. At least they're making me more popular.
So in summary here, before I let you go, Senator.
Please, I really need to move.
I will just sorry. For the first time, I'm able to hold the senator's ransom. So pardon me for that. So in summary here, what you're saying is, when you explain to them the effort you have made in seeing Nnamdi Kanu, now they became happy.
They were very happy, clapping for me, chatting with me. Then people that are maybe far from the scene, they were recording, and then if somebody is against me, or at least they will have hit my vehicle. They will have broken my glasses. They will have thrown stone on me. Nobody saw when I was running. Nobody saw when anything thrown on my vehicle. But it's part of it. So, but at the end of the day, have you ever seen any politician in Anambra State that attempted to do what 10% of what I did? Let them come and do their own road in Lagos. I went to 21 local governments. Nobody has attempted it. And then I went to America, went to 36 states, Maryland, Jersey, New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Houston. Nobody has done it. Let them move. We are up. Why is it in Ubah, Ifeanyi? Why is it Ifeanyi? Everybody wants to get okay, I got 150,000 Igbo Why am I in Lagos? More than 50,000 where to find 150,000 Americans and say in Lagos.
For some reason,
that have to come to America to pay.
For some reason, your network is cracking. For some reason, okay, you're better now. But now I'll let you go. But all the audience are much interested in this last question, and that last question is about seaport in Anambra State. As the governor of Anambra State, is there anything you think you can do to ensure that the seaport that was built in the 1980s and have left unused becomes usable? Is there anything you can promise the Anambra people?
It's all scam. Never will any seaport be erected in Anambra State. It's all scam. We don't have a seaport and can never have a seaport in Anambra State. That's the question.
So what we have is a wharf, that where they use badger to get in the containers. Now, is there anything you can do to ensure
we don't even have that? We don't have that, sir. It's all scam.
So the federal government is scamming us. I mean, this is interesting that you're saying. So
100%.
What's the name again? From Nnewi, Mogalu. There was a time he told the world that Maersk were,
it's a scam
and taking. So you are telling us that is a scam?
Yeah, he's a very good brother. I have a lot of respect for him, but that's a scam. He doesn't understand He doesn't understand the chemistry of port management. I own the biggest private port in Nigeria, so I can tell you better. And then what I'm saying is very weighty. So you can't have a port. You can't even have a badge with three containers stacked. Now, if you look at the economics and scale of ports, of a container, of a barge leaving Warri or leaving Port Harcourt, coming to Onitsha, how many containers would that barge take? What is the consumption of fuel, of burning of low power fuel oil or diesel from Port Harcourt to consumption of petroleum product, the consumption of hydrocarbon from Port Harcourt to Onitsha? So now look at the scale. The new bridge they are building cannot even accommodate three stacked container. So that is another problem. The location of that port in Onitsha is sandwiched by two bridges already. The new one that is as low as anything. The old one. So when politicians come and start telling, I will build a port, and they're all scamming. They don't even understand. And that's why you see people who are practical people. And when you see them, sometimes maybe because they don't know how to shape their English, then some people will be saying,
the reason why
I'm giving you a damning revelation, and I'm using it as a scam. It can never work.
So
Anambra with a proactive government will see how they can partner with a neighboring state that has a deep seaport capability, and then use the potential of business, trade, and commerce in Anambra State to partner with these neighboring states and develop a JV port that will serve the interests of the Anambra State. And that is the end of the discussion.
Wow. Thank you very much on that.
God bless you.
Obviously, it has knocked off all the conversations this government is telling the people that the wharf in Onitsha is about to start.
The people that will be saying these things, they don't have experience. They don't even know anything. They don't even understand what the draft in Onitsha is. We've not even gone to technicalities of telling you that the River Niger is below the sea level, is at the belly of Niger. The Mount Cameroon is on top of River Niger. And every day, the flood from Mount Cameroon comes into River Niger. And you can never have life without end. There's nothing you can dredge. As you are dredging, more sands will be coming. So God made River Niger to be a deposit of sands for the development of Anambra State. And that is the potential of River Niger, not for a port.
Wow, thank you very much for that. The Senator, I would give you the last opportunity now to speak to Anambra directly regarding the forthcoming election. That's your last shot. Thank you very much for being part of this program. Over to you, sir.
Anambra, ife agụji akpam ile dị Anambra. Ewepụtara m obi m ka m bịa lụọ ndị Igbo ọlụ. Imam Ifeanyi Ubah, alike again in the next 30 years in politics of Anambra State. It is an opportunity for me to serve, for you to also support me, to give Anambra State my next active years, which would be my last political outing. I have a very short mission in politics. Support me, and then you will be proud of being part of this generation. That's all I will say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator. Once more, I say thank you very much. I know it has been very uncomfortable, starting from your delayed flight, agreeing even when in the delay, you still agreed to do this, even when you are on transit. I must say, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the time. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Good evening.
God bless you.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you very much for being part of this conversation. And it was my pleasure to have this conversation with the senator representing Anambra South Senatorial District in the Nigerian Senate. Again, this conversation, one-on-one, as it were, has been part of that Meet the Candidate series sponsored by Njenje Media Group. What we are trying to do here is to give you the opportunity to see these candidates. Type in your questions, and your questions will be taken as it was done this evening. Again, thank you very much for watching. Join us sometime next week. I would make the dates available. We have more other candidates contesting for this election that we will be speaking to on this platform. Again, good evening, everyone. Good morning for those of you who are in faraway areas. Good night for those of us who are about to go to bed. I am still Mazi Ezoke. I say good night. Thank you for being part of this program.